So we once again welcome all the participants to this insightful training program. And I would like to once again welcome Dr. Pallavi Tyagi. She's an associate professor at Amity College of Commerce and Finance, Amity University, India, and a visiting faculty at Grenoble École de Management, France. She has an experience of over 12 years and has published various case studies and research papers. Her interest areas include diversity, equity and inclusion, employee empowerment, and social entrepreneurship. And today she's going to take the first session on digitization and digital transformation. We welcome you, Dr. Pallavi, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Geeta ma'am. And I welcome all the participants to this interesting topic of the era. So digitalization, digitization, and digital transformation are some buzzwords nowadays. So let me introduce to the few aspects, a quick introduction of mine. I am an associate professor in the area of human resource management, and working on this digital transformation topic is really an exciting endeavor for me. So this is the topic which I am going to cover or try to cover with your input, with my learnings and experiences. So digitalization, digital transformation, we are going to cover in today's session. So the prerequisite is one case study, which I have shared in advance. So I hope many of you are able to go through this case study in advance. If not, then also we are going to discuss the crux. What about GE? What is digital transformation they are trying to incorporate, and actually what went wrong? So my endeavor was to put you in a mold that following things we are going to discuss in this session. So that's why this pre-read has been handed over. So it's a pretty engaging writing piece. If you have gone through it, you must understand that why it has been handed over to you. By the end of the session, you are able to understand and discover that how to transform your organization or a particular department to actually reap the benefits of digitalization and digital transformation. What are the components which are required by an organization to be effectively implemented to get most out of digital transformation? Because our literature is full of anecdotes and examples where the companies have failed as well as has evolved due to digital transformation. So for the next 90 minutes, you are with me. And in these 90 minutes, we are going to cover what is digital transformation, how the digital look, if we look into the literature and go in the past, that what is the face of digital at that time and in the current era in which we call the industry 4.0. So what is currently the digital transformation mean to us? And then I will let you know, and I will try to make you understand that where the role of a leader actually pitch in. So that is my objective for this particular session, right? So before getting jump directly to a session, please accept my namaste from India. And I welcome the international participants to this interesting 10-day long training program. We have a participants from Mozambique. We have a participants from Cambodia, as I'm able to see. I think Ko, please let me know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It's K-O-U. So Ko is there, Chand Ratna is there. Chand Ratna is a very much similar name which we use in India, so quite easier for me to pronounce, but I'm sure, please let me know if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Sineth is there. We have already interacted with Sineth in the session taken by Nitin sir. So welcome all the participants from Cambodia. We have one participant from Tunisia, Camelia. Welcome to the session.
Thank you so much.
And we have many participants from the Mozambique. So Mozambique, if I'm not wrong, Maputo is the capital and the coastal city, very beautiful city. So welcome all the participants from Mozambique, and I think we have one participant from Peru. Shikha ma'am, we do have one participant from Peru.
Yeah.
Is the participant from Peru is here? We would love to hear from you. If you are there, please. Yeah, please Shikha.
I think he hasn't joined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So not an issue. So let's try to dive into the tide of digital and digital transformation and digitalization, right? So how it will go like, first I would like you to introduce with the interface of Zoom. I'm sure many of you are already aware, but again, we have an option of chat. You can post your queries, your questions, your inputs in chat. We also have a very important feature in which we call through emoticons. You can show a thumbs up, or if you have a question, you can just raise your hand so that we can note that you have a query or you want to provide us some kind of input, right? So Zoom is a very interactive platform, and during the session, there is one industry expert who are going to brief us on digitalization in agriculture, which is a very important aspect of the nations to which all of us belong, right? So let me start a very quick and a very candid discussion with you all with a very simple question. I would like all of you to take just a 2-minute pause, and then you can come back and let me know that what is digital according to you. Very simple, very commonly used word in daily life, we are using it. So what is digital? And as I'm able to make it from the participant list, many of you, especially Camelia, I'm very impressed by your candidature. You are a PhD and you're working with the Ministry of Technical and Information Systems. So we have many person who belongs to the technical area. So what is digital? We have a mixed bunch of people. We have people from travel and tourism. We have a people from admin. We have people from marketing. So what is digital? Because it is a word which may differ for people belonging to different department and economy and organization, right? So what is digital? Can I have inputs from the cohort here? I know I have a very intellectual cohort here, and you are very excited to be the part of this training program. So anyone from the cohort, that what exactly digital mean to you? For you, it is a social media, online gaming, multimedia, mobile phones. So what is digital? Camelia, Jog.
Digital for me to use less papers. So if I can make a transaction with mobile phone, it's a digital transaction without papers, less papers.
Absolutely correct, Camelia. The digital means without paper, and anyone else in the group. It's a very I would say it's an overused word, right? Everything we connected with the digital. So as Camelia said, to go without paper, it is digital. Any quick input from anyone who wants to jump in? And I would appreciate, I will not force you, but I will appreciate if you are able to open your cameras. So social media, online gaming, multimedia, mobile phones, or I give you another option. According to you, being digital means going into the machine consciousness or machine intelligence. Thank you, Fatima, for switching on the camera. I appreciate. So Fatima, according to you, what is digital? I hope you are not thinking that, why I have opened this camera. She asked me a question. It's a candid session. So a simple question so that I can understand your level of understanding and you can understand that what I am trying to make you understand. So yeah, what is digital?
For me, coming from a bit of a technology background, for me, digital is moving from any manual or analog processes to information or data that can be used in the computer without any manual intervention. Something along that line.
Great. Wonderful input, Fatima. So we all belongs to a physical world, right? We belongs to a physical world, but nowadays we are living in a digital world. What is digital world is? Digital world is we are using number of communities, we are having data sets, we have networks, and we are the part of digital world, right? So what is digital? Whether digital is a adjective only to say or to quote in the different talks or in different debates, or it is a bigger term. So as far as my understanding is concerned, the scope of digital has been increased with the time, right? So we are moving from 1.0 to 2.0, 3.0, and now we are into 4.0. So the machine learning, machine consciousness, machine intelligence, we have Alexa, we have Siri, all are the part of digital revolution, right? Now, once we are moving from digital, as the definition told us to by Camelia and Fatima, what is digital? Digital is using any electronic system, right, which uses the number 1 and 0. Camelia and Fatima understand in a better way because, since they belong to a technical background. So which record the sounds, which can store the information and can present it in a higher quality, right, in a higher results or in a better form. So digital stands for it. So nowadays, since we have entered into the era of 4.0, the term digital has broadened, and we have started with the terms like cryptocurrency, right? So what cryptocurrency is? Anyone, what cryptocurrency is, what edge computing is, artificial intelligence, augmented reality. So all these are the buzzwords which digital has been compiling under itself, right? So let me show you a video of augmented reality which has been applied by Nike in their retail stores, right? So I hope you all are able to hear the voice.
No, Dr. Pallavi, you have to share the sound of the computer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now it is audible.
So did you enjoy the video? So the video is basically about the retail revolution and how the augmented reality is helping the retail stores in getting more close to their customers, their demand, embracing the requirements of the consumers with them. So Nike is not only the example when we want to put in for the augmented reality, the Marcent, augmented reality giant, is also working in collaboration with Harley Davidson to develop an iOS application. Now, what they will do with this iOS application, they will use it to test the heights of their bikes virtually, right? So augmented reality is something which is going to be projected for a future for enhancing the consumer experiences. Same in the case of cryptocurrency, it has changed the face of financial technology in collaboration with blockchain. It will make the cheap and safer transaction. It make possible to have a safe, cheap, and faster transaction, right? Sinet, thank you so much for switching on the camera. Now, big data is something in which we are able to handle the massive data sets, especially in the case of marketing and human resource management, where we are managing huge data sets of consumers and employees who are working with us, right? So big data play a crucial role when it comes to the organization, and the number of organizations got benefited by using this technology. A digital revolution has come with the big data. Edge computing, Google is experimenting with edge computing. So edge computing, correct me if I'm wrong, is a technique in which you are going to operate through a single device. You can use different processes by using a single device. So edge computing is something which is really crucial, critical for the upcoming market and for the different sectors. So Google, who is already an advanced and tech company, is actually using edge computing to make the experiences more personalized for us, right? And artificial intelligence, what I say about artificial intelligence, we are surrounded by the equipments and tools of the artificial intelligence. The one example which I want to give you of artificial intelligence is from the area of human resource management, and the robot Vera, whose picture I am representing here. Now, PepsiCo has hired robot Vera to select 250 candidates for them. So actually a robot is taking interviews of human beings. And out of 1,500 applications, I tell you, Vera has recruited and selected 250 candidates within the span of less than half a day, which HR function would probably take 2 months. So this is digital. So digital is not about the communities and network nowadays. We have come far ahead with Industry 4.0, cryptocurrency, big data, edge computing, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and application of SaaS and SaaS. Everything is the part of digitalization, right? So with this note, since we have discussed the digital, the first part of today's session, that what is digital, can you help me understand, or we can do it mutually. You can help me understand, or I can help you understand that what is digitization and digitalization. Digital is something we understand using an electronic interface or system. So what is digitization and digitalization? Seneth, any viewpoint, what is digitization? Seneth, I just forgot you are working for which company. If you are able to let me know again.
Yes.
Yeah,
Do you
Seneth. Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah, I am able to hear you. Please carry on. So Sinat, I was asking, you are working with which company? Sinat, you are from Cambodia, right?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
from Cambodia.
Yeah.
I'm working with Ministry of Public Works and Transport.
Okay. Okay. So anyone in the cohort who will make me understand that what digitization is and what digitalization is, how the concepts are differ? Anyone? I would love to hear. And believe me, there will be, I believe you people, I trust all of you, there will be a right answer. I got some messages in chat, just a second.
From my point of view, digitalization is a format or a process that we describe about electronics technology. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
that is from how you
yeah.
to
So
store and process data.
to process data is the part of the digitization.
Yeah.
Felisberto, I'm able to see you. Thank you so much for putting the camera on. So Felisberto, hello. How are you doing?
Well, thank you.
Good, good, good. So Felisberto, in which company do you work? You are from Mozambique. I'm able to
Yeah,
participant list. You are from Mozambique.
yes, I'm also with Fatima.
Okay,
We are from Mozambique. We work for a mobile company.
Yeah. So Felisberto, so how your company is actually implementing the digitalization initiatives? TMCell is a very progressive company in Africa.
Yeah, we actually only exist in Mozambique.
Okay.
We are based in Mozambique, and we only function in Mozambique. Anywhere else in Africa, it's by roaming. But yeah, we based and we operate in Mozambique only. Our digitalization process was a little bit of the digitalization of the country itself. What can I say about it? Yes, we are working on we actually, like everyone else, moving from
you people are actively working on broadbanding and using multiple services using mobile phones. I think this is the focus on which the TMCell is working, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the broadband is the focus, the 5Gs and etc. That's where we're going on the digital.
Thank you, Felisberto, for contributing into the discussion. So I'm sure the digital transformation which the African unions are actually pitching into will help your company to expand outside Mozambique soon. Are you able to hear me, Felisberto? Hello?
Yes, Dr. Pallavi, you are audible. I guess might be a bandwidth issue. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were discussing about we have moved from the digital and now we are moving towards the digitalization and digitalization. So what digitization is? A very basic concept which would get introduced in the industry 3.0, in which we are actually converting the documents into a digital form. So simply you are putting a paper on the printer and getting it into a digital form. That's what we call the digitization. So, and the digitalization is a broader concept in which you are using the different kind of digital technologies, which we have discussed in the previous slides. We have edge computing, we have artificial intelligence. So PepsiCo is using artificial intelligence. That's we call the digitalization, right? So Gartner has given a very interesting definition. The definition I will not discuss, since you people are very experienced and you understand the things in a much broader sense. So the digital technology to help boost their business models. So digitalization is a broader concept, and for the digital transformation, companies are actually using a mixture of digitization and digitalization operations, right? So it is beyond digitization, but it cannot work without digitization. So it involves re-engineering, it involves reimagining in a way. So digitization and digitalization. This is the core of digital transformation, without which we cannot move actually into the digital era. So now, after having a short discussion about that, what is digital, what is digitalization, the next thing which I want to focus is on, which is the core of this training program, that what exactly digital transformation is. So digital transformation is about deployment of any sort of technology that enable your organization or business and allow you to be more productive and generate more revenue, right? So let me tell you, in the word digital transformation, the word in the term digital transformation, the word digital has been overemphasized and transformation has been underemphasized, right? So when we talk about digital transformation, we talk about business transformation. So it doesn't only require the evolution of machineries and technologies and networks, but it also required processes and people to get evolved. So this is what digital transformation is. It's a very broader concept. And in today's session, we are going to have an example of few companies who have taken the digital transformation correctly. They have implemented it correctly with people and processes. I do have the example of a company who in the first inning got failed in the digital transformation process. Then they collect their baggage and come into the second inning and then able to get or reap advantages of digital transformation. And I do have a bunch of examples which we are going to discuss, which fail due to misapplication of digital transformation. So when we talk about digital transformation, I was going through some literature and I found that Africa and African unions are doing quite good when it comes to the digital transformation. They have launched an initiative, DG4A. Anyone in the group, if help me in understanding this concept in more, that what DG4A, very interesting abbreviated form they have given to it. Digital Economy for Africa. The initiative was launched in the year 2019. So can anyone tell me that what objective this initiative have in the group? This is from your country, Digital Economy for Africa. What this initiative is about? George, can I expect a reply from your end or anyone else in the group? Digital Economy for Africa. This is a very interesting initiative which I found. The initiative was launched in the year 2019, and the aim is to make Africa Union a totally digitally transformed economy by 2030. So the main pillar in which they are investing is the infrastructure of the countries, the public platforms, financial services. They're exclusively working with the banking industry and insurance industry. In businesses, telecom is playing a very significant role, since Felisberto recently told us that they are working on the implementation of 5G around the Mozambique. So businesses, making them digitally transformed is the aim of the African Union. And the skills, when we are talking about skills, we are talking about digital literacy skills among public. So Africa is doing a fantastic job when it comes to the digital transformation. Same way, the Tunisia, I think they have recently launched some data centers. In 2023, they have launched some data centers to effectively manage the massive data sets by using the big data technology, right? So Digital Economy for Africa
Yes.
is a very interesting initiative which has been. Yeah,
it's a recent initiative that was launched especially for public platforms.
Yeah.
There is a challenge, technical aspects, but there is an initiative for public platforms.
Yeah, thank you, Camelia.
Facilitate the interaction and to make a service portal for all citizens. It's an ongoing project.
Yeah, so Tunisia is also working very swiftly towards the digital transformation. Same is with the Cambodia. Cambodia is the part of Asia, and the Asian economies are always more inclined towards digitalization and digitized operation. So we have from Cambodia, Chandratna. I will not bother Sinet much now. So Chandratna.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon. You can call me Pallavi. Please, you can call me Pallavi.
Yeah, no issue.
Yeah. So
I'm not
Chandratna,
used to.
yeah, Chandratna, any digitalization initiative which is the part of Cambodia?
Sorry, ma'am. I don't have any idea about the digital.
So
Yeah, because
you are
actually,
working. Yeah,
yeah, actually, I'm working for Ministry of Tourism.
that's great, wonderful.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
right
any
now,
initiative which travel and tourism industry is actually taking in India, in Cambodia, I'm sorry, in Cambodia, digital thing, the digital inclusion maybe of your ministry or companies. I'm not forcing, but I'm just trying to understand, and I just try to add one example into my mind that what is actually happening in Cambodia.
uh, uh, I don't know is this correct or not, but actually in Ministry of Tourism in Cambodia, we also connect with digital, and it is very important for the promote tourism in Cambodia. Like we have like we have app, we have
Applications, you people
yeah,
have
the
application.
yeah, we have application for the promoting tourism to the tourists, and we have also like some information we promoted by social media and digital.
Great, great, great. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. And I'm sure the Cambodia will work more with enthusiasm towards getting digitally transformed. I'm sure your country will. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so the phases, the past, present, and future. We have already discussed where were we in the industry 1.0. So the industry 1.0, we were using the technologies which are based on water and steam. When we reached to the industry 2.0, we have started using the electrical energy for getting our industries run. Industry 3.0 was actually a game changer for the industrial revolution, in which we have started working with the floppies and transistors and chips. And industry 4.0, in which currently we are, is actually something which is leading us toward a new era, in which we are talking about artificial intelligence, we are talking about cryptocurrencies, and industrial internet of things is something I found very amazing, which is the part of the GE case, which I think Shikha ma'am has recently reshared with you. So internet of things is something really important which we have, right? So digital and organization, we are moving from 1.0 to 2.0 and moving ahead towards 5.0. So the 5.0 is talk about the machine and human cohabitation. That is a very interesting thing, and we are already seeing the examples in the form of ChatGPT. So which is a very recent example, where the future is waiting for us. So ChatGPT is an example where we are moving ahead toward 5.0. So just entering, but I'm sure the phase is going to be much more exciting than industry 4.0. So there is a small activity which we'll do. This is a quick activity which we'll do after a time. We have one industry expert with us. Mr. Nishit Agarwal is with us. Nishit sir, you are here with us. Can you please switch on the camera?
I'm there. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good day.
Hi. So we have Mr. Nishit Agarwal. So today we have with us a dynamic thought leader, Mr. Nishit Agarwal. He has a 16 plus years of rich and qualitative learning experience. He is a global delivery lead digital for Case and New Holland Group, India. He has assumed responsibility of crafting roadmaps with the vision, strategy, and release plan to most businesses, and IT requirement through technology optimization and shared service model. He has also crafted digital footprints for Japanese automobile company and led business transformation journey. So welcome, sir. And I invite you to take over the session and share your insights.
Sure. Thank you, Pallavi, Dr. Pallavi. And again, a very good day to all of you. I can see a good participation from the different countries. I'm really excited for this small talk. So like Dr. Pallavi said, my name is Nishit, and today I would like to spend few minutes with all of you to co-learn and discuss about digitalization. So guys, what is important is co-learn. So I'm not going to speak something very different. So it's an opportunity to co-learn, understand how together we can discuss and learn about more digitalization and how we can use it in our industries as well. So before we talk about this slide, Dr. Pallavi talked a lot about digitalization. So I'm not going to discuss the same thing, but rather let me just focus on what has been asked by MAT, that let me share some kind of case study that how specifically in the agriculture sector, we can use this concept. Now, why agriculture sector? Again, see, we are from the developing economy and agriculture plays a vital role in our economy. Is my speed okay for the participants? I am audible. Yes, no, thumbs up, anything is fine.
Yes.
Great, Fatima, thank you. So I'm saying that for us, people from Africa continent or Asia, we are into the developing nation. And for us, agriculture is one of the source of our GDP. And it is very important to do some kind of transformation so that we can contribute more and more. Now, if I talk specifically about India, in 2022, our agriculture sector contribution is more than 20%. The thing is, it's going to increase drastically. And same, I believe, is with your country as well. Now, when we see this picture about digitalization in agriculture market, the first thought comes is why or what we can do in this sector. But today the world has changed a lot. The smart agriculture market is expected to reach $18.5 billion in 2022. Official figures yet to be received as per this plan. And in 2023, the plan is to further increase by 30% more. Now, why and how? I will definitely discuss in my coming slides, but just briefly touching upon what are the key changing factors in our agriculture sectors. I'm sure you all understand what are drones. Now, this industry is using drones for the health assessment, irrigation, and crop monitoring. They are also using it for the soil and field analysis. Now, here, important thing is we are using some latest technology, converting the data into the useful format so that we can study and take the quick actions. We can do soil management. We can analyze whether our soil is fertilized enough or not, how the temperature is there. For Africa, we need to grow this type of crop. So whether for this type of crop, our soil is ready or we need to take specific action. Water management, one of the most important thing right now, we need to take care of it. So I will talk more and more about all this thing, but Dr. Pal, we can just go to the next slide. I just want you to see one video which will just set the context for this forum, and then we will have more and more discussion.
The face of farming is changing.
Sorry, Dr. Pallavi is stopped. You are on mute? Okay.
This is Sonia. She's a new generation of digital farmer, and the power is now in her hands. Data from satellites enables her to receive precise agricultural tips. With her farm vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, weather reports help her to make better decisions, while e-payments enable her to easily send and receive money. These disruptive digital services don't just benefit farmers, they also create decent jobs for young people. One entrepreneur has created an app which allows Sonia to access new markets and get a fair price for her produce, while a local startup flies drones that profile her cooperative and monitor the health of crops and land. The real-time data gives Sonia information she can act on. It helps her use fertilizers and other inputs more effectively to increase yields while reducing environmental impacts. The surge in data from thousands of smallholder farmers gives banks the information they need to lend money and offer insurance against extreme weather. Big data can help governments make better informed decisions, and progressive digital policies can enable innovative technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the Internet of Things to make entire supply chains more efficient and transparent. But it's not just about technology. It's about transforming the lives of smallholder farmers like Sonia to increase production and improve livelihoods. This is next generation agriculture, bringing scalable solutions that will help make the UN Sustainable Development Goals a reality. To find out more, visit www.cta.in.
Okay. So guys, I just have a small question. Feel free to answer it and make it more interactive. Why do we need digitization in this sector? Any thought, any idea? Or do you think, do we really need it?
For me,
Sure, we do.
I think it's important to make better decision with data. So we analyze the data so we can make a better decision for policymakers.
Great, absolutely. Someone else was also saying something. I could hear a gentleman's voice.
No, I was saying, yes, we do need the digitalization in this sector. For obvious reasons, what I'm saying, to have updated information about different parts of its soil, weather, the states of the crops, etc., etc. So that gives us more analyzed information, a more in-depth information about all these parts of the whole process, which is agriculture. So it's I would say I'm not aware if you all have a clue about this. It reminds me of the importance of the use of the BlackBerry technology on the agriculture. What importance it had, how huge it was for the people of the agriculture in countries like Argentina and Brazil. Those are the examples I have. So digitalization in agriculture is huge. It's very important and crucial. Actually, crucial. We'd move from a manual agriculture to, I would say, industrialized agriculture with more information, more data that will allow us to make long-term plans, etc., etc. So I think it's really huge for especially for developing countries.
Great, absolutely. And there is something from Fatima also. So I totally agree with your viewpoint, and yes, it is absolutely crucial. We have to do it. And I just want to give you one more insight that why we need it more and more. So our land size is same. When I say land size, so that means the area is same. Now, when I say that area is same, what does it mean? That our population is increasing day by day, but the farms are limited. So how to cater this population? If we continue to use the same methodology, we may be in a trouble, or the problem will be there. So we need to look for some kind of new methods, new way of taking up our agriculture business so that we can serve more and more. Now, I got a very interesting example that why it is more important. Suppose, let me just give you a scenario that Mr. X, he's having a fever. So as a doctor, what we should do? Shall we give medicine only to Mr. X or to his entire family? Anyone? What we should do? We should give medicine only to the patient or to the everyone who is near there. I'm not talking about COVID, it's normal viral. Okay, so logically, we should give medicine only to the patient, right? But are we doing this with our crops? What we are doing the traditional way, just take the fertilizer spray and we just spray to the all over the land, whether my crop need it or not. But with this digitization, by use of drones, we can capture the exact area where the crop needs fertilizers or soil needs some kind of treatment. This way, we can optimize our spend, and with minimum input, what we can get is the maximum output. So this is where usage of latest techniques and transformation is required so that with minimum input, we can get the maximum output. Now, when I was talking about digitalization in agriculture, precision agriculture plays one of the important or the vital role. Now, what is precision agriculture? As written, it is the science of improving crop yields and assisting management decisions using high technology sensors and analysis too. So we are using high technology sensors like drones or some kind of other sensors through which we can get to know when and what to do. And this is a new concept adopted worldwide to increase the production, reduce the labor time, and ensure effective management of fertilizers. So this is one small block diagram where we need the yield maps, we need the stress detection algorithms, prescriptions, tractors, and vegetation, and all this put together makes the life cycle of precision agriculture. Going next. Next slide. Now, this will be the last talk which I will be talking about that why or how we should take forward this digital transformation. What should be the key pillars of digital transformation and what we should keep it in mind. Now you can see a gentleman and around him there are 4 things. Now this is a very beautiful picture which I like, which talks about digital transformation. Now, first of all, who is responsible for digital transformation? Can anyone say that, okay, I want to do it, or some kind of business vision can do it? Answer is no. The first and foremost thing is it is we. There should be the consensus of the management, or we should be there who should lead this initiative. We should roll the wheel for the transformation. And rightly, like Dr. Pallavi said, digital has less emphasis and transformation is more and more important in this thing. So what we need to transform? We need to first and foremost transform our processes. The way we used to do it, we need to relook into that. We need to see how we can make it more automatic, how we can eliminate the redundant and non-value-added things. For example, now I do not need to go and plow the ground. I should have the autonomous tractors, which can go and do the plowing and then the seeding and everything. And this will save our time. So first and foremost thing is we need to think radically and do the process transformation. Now, once we are ready with the process transformation, we need to talk about business transformation. Now, what is the meaning of business transformation? I'm working with an agriculture company, which makes world's one of the best agriculture products. But shall I limit myself up to there? Answer is no. With big data and data, I need to see how can I leverage my customers, my farmers with some data so that they can take informed decision. So from manufacturing of tractors, I'm transforming my business into the digital and use of data for that portion as well. Now, domain transformation. Domain transformation means now it's a high time. We should not keep the data or servers with us. We should try to move into the cloud. Why? It's scalable, no direct investment. It can be readily accessible from anywhere. So once we have our processes, our business, let us go for the domain transformation, which means let us use clouds as much as possible. And last but most important thing is culture transformation. You see this man, he is driving the wheel. We need to educate each one and everyone who is involved in this hierarchy that, dear, we are planning for this digital transformation. Culturally, we have to change. We cannot say we were doing like this, so we will continue to do like this. We have to adopt this new culture. We have to be the brand ambassador of our ecosystem, of our initiative, and take it forward. And I assure you, if we take these 4 pillars, consider these 4 pillars, whether it is agriculture, automobile, or any industry, these 4 things will talk as the key success factor for any kind of digital transformation. So that's a small thing from my side. I'm open for any questions, anything, or I am ready to co-learn with you all. Feel free to reach out on LinkedIn or anything, or Dr. Pallavi, and we can connect later on also. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nishit sir, for making it possible within a short span of time. And thank you for making this effort and letting us know that how the digitalization and digital transformation is equally applicable in the development of the agriculture sector, and which is mutually beneficial for the economy. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is an example that how digital transformation is affecting our economy or the economies, since we all belongs to the different countries, and it have a same impact and the same ratio of contribution in our GDP. So agriculture is a core function of an economy, and digital transformation is actually a requirement, and nowadays it's a mandate to get applicable in this sector as well. So let's quickly go for breakout sessions. So I request IT team to create the breakout rooms and allocate them to the participants. So what you're required to do is you are required to pause all your works, whatever you are doing in the office, and just observe the digital devices, technologies around you, and analyze their impact these devices have on your daily life or professional life or personal life. So a quick activity, I want your participation. So IT team, please do the needful. You can just put the participant in breakout rooms for 5 minutes, and then they can just come back and we have a discussion. So the digital devices and technologies around you. So analyze the impact these devices, technologies have had on your professional life, a quick brainstorming, and then come back to the session. Then we can have a discussion, and then we can move forward.
Arvind, are we able to make that?
Yes, ma'am.
Be able to create breakout rooms.
Yeah,
this is a breakout room
ma'am.
activity.
So shall I
Create?
15 room?
Okay. Okay. You can assign me and Dr. Pallavi as well, so that in case any of the group is facing any problem, we can just go and check.
Ma'am, you are a cohort, so you can go in any room.
Okay, fine.
I request all the participants to please join the breakout rooms. So in the room 1, there are 4 participants. I'm able to see them. Anwar, yeah. Great. Great. Just a quick warm-up session so that you are able to know each other quickly, and then you are able to discuss that how these technical devices are affecting your day-to-day life, and then just come back to the session. We have a much to discuss. Yeah, I'm able to see Anathil. Nice, nice, nice. Great. I request all the participants to please join the breakout room and help your peers to discuss a quick activity. Yeah, I'm able to say Denise, Ernesto, and Fatima in one room. So carry on, guys. Celso, Chandratna. Great. I'm able to see Herman Gildo. Herman, can I call you Herman? Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Ma'am, I have assigned the participants to join the room, but they are not joining the room. They are still in the main room. So just.
I request all the participants to please join the room.
And ma'am, you are the cohort, so you can go in any room.
Yes, I am seeing that. The persons in green, I think I have joined the groups.
Yeah, they joined the group, but
yes,
because 17 participants in the main room right now.
Okay, okay. So I request everyone to be the part of breakouts to have a more fruitful and more engaging session. IT team,
Yes, ma'am.
shall we close the breakout room
Okay,
and
ma'am.
allow all the participants to come in the main room?
Yeah, I'm just closing it.
Yeah, sure.
Done, ma'am.
Yeah. The breakout rooms will close in 46 seconds. Hi, Camelia. Are you able to enter the breakout room, able to discuss it with your co-participants?
Yes, I think Fatima took notes. Yes, we discussed about many aspects of technology, how to facilitate, and Fatima perhaps can make the subscription.
Thank you. Thank you. So Fatima?
Okay. So sorry, let me switch on my camera.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yes. So what we got from the whole team in our breakout room, which is group 2, that we can get better personalized services and fast delivery to the clients.
Okay.
Also, having the digital transformation or digitalization reduces the amount of time that it takes to effectively carry out tasks. And then we are able to facilitate our lives through the carrying out or execution of remote payments for services like electricity, water, and internet.
Great, great. That is how the digitalized and technologies are helping you in making your life more efficient. Great.
Yes.
So, yeah. So Camelia, in your group, you have Fatima with you. What about George?
Yes, we didn't have enough time to discuss.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll give you
but,
many other opportunities to discuss further more things.
Yes, but we discussed a few things. We had only 1 minute.
It's okay. It's okay. Please, please. I'm sure you are able to make good things in this 1 minute as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Around the house, we have laptops, IP phones, mobile phones, computers. With this device, we can make electronic payments.
Great, great, wonderful.
Using mobile phones.
Yes.
We can make calls. We can have our contact list on the IP phones. We can see who call us. It can be easy to do a lot of things at the same time. It's easy to our life.
Great, great, great.
Yeah.
So making the things easier for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Fatima was saying that she's able to pay the different bills by using it. You are saying by using the computers and mobile devices and technology, it is making your daily life easier. So when you're talking about life, you're talking about your personal life or your professional life?
Is our professional life.
It's your professional life and
Yeah,
your personal life as well?
Yes, also our social life with laptop, we can send a message to anyone in our family. We can
More
stay
connectivity, mobility.
We can stay in the course like it right now.
Great, great. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. Felisberto, would you like to add something to it?
I think pretty much everything has been said.
You can
about how
sit comfortably, not a problem. You can sit comfortably.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying pretty much been said about how important the devices around us facilitate and makes our lives easier, faster, and more effective, being it in a personal or on a professional level.
Yeah.
So that's.
So when you're talking
what-
about your life, making your life easier, what kind of devices you're talking about? You're talking about your Fitbit, you're talking about your earpods, or you're talking about your laptop. So what kind of digital? Yeah.
I would focus on my computer,
Great.
which is pretty much the same as my laptop, which makes me easier to make remote payments, remote purchases, remote work,
Yeah, sometime work from home.
Zoom meetings.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah, the year 2021 is exciting in different ways. The companies have this 21 made possible 100% remote working possible for different companies or in the industry in which we have never thought about. So great, great. So you're talking about your laptop. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Celio. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, from Mozambique. Yes,
Yeah.
about the digital transformation, I would like to add the some transformation in our life in Mozambique. For example, we have a telephone that we using to transfer the money for another people. You know, we have a problem of the bank in Mozambique, but the rural area, we can use the phone to has a bank. So that is what we use every day.
You're talking about mobile banking?
Mobile bank, yes, is what is useful for
Great.
rural area and cities. That is make the digital transformation in our country most useful.
Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Your company, your country is actually working more enthusiastically toward being digitally transformed. The government is taking lots of initiative to make their people and industries more digitally transformed. So I'm sure with the coming time, the things are going to be evolved much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Celio.
Thank you.
I'm able to see the name of Herman Gilto. Am I pronouncing it right, Herman? If not, then please open your camera and correct me. Hermane Gildo, are you there? Okay, no worries. Okay, so let me start sharing with you the PPTs again. So we left here, right? PPTs are visible to everyone? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So till now, what we have done is we have done what is digital, digitization, digitalization, and then the digital transformation. And we have seen with your examples, with my examples, with your experiences, that how the different economies are actually growing so far by using the digital transformation. We have an industry expert who actually pitched in to let you know that how economy can be get digitally transformed if the agriculture function of it will get transformed by using different technologies. So artificial intelligence, blockchains, everything is useful in it. Now, Mr. Nishit has closed the presentation on an important segment of transformation, which we call the cultural transformation. Now, what that cultural transformation is, cultural transformation comes with leader. Technology come with the tech team. The tech team will suggest which technology you can bring in to be more productive and more efficient. But the leader's roles is to get it fit in the culture of the organization. And that is the role of leader in the digital transformation, right? So in the coming segment, I'm going to discuss with you the example of few popular companies. Few examples you must have heard, and there are few examples which you have not heard. So we are going to have a very fruitful and interactive session, and I would love if you can also contribute and give the examples from your region to make it more enriching. So I'm going to discuss the examples of the companies who actually get better with the implementation of technologies. I'll give you the example of some companies who got extinct because of misapplication of technology. And there are also few companies who in the initial phase has actually droned, but they collect all the courage together to start a new inning. So let's start a very, just a second. So Netflix is the one example in the OTT industry, which everyone know, who reap the most benefits out of digital transformation, right? So the company started in the year 1997, and by 2020, they are nominated as the most nominated studio at Academy Awards. So what apparently had happened with this company? The company started with video rental. In 2007, they started the streaming button in the remote controls, and now we have a proper Netflix subscription in our phones. So how many of you are actually using Netflix? You can raise your hand. I'll raise mine. I am using it. So how many of you are subscribed with Netflix? You can raise your hands. Yeah, Celio is using. What about others? Yes, I'm waiting for your replies. There is an option in Zoom to raise your hand. If you wish, you can use, even if your cameras you do not want to open, so you can use that raise hand bar. Yes, Fatima raised the hand. Fatima is using Netflix. Yes, Celio is using. So Fatima and Celio, what is so good about Netflix? You know, we people are responsible for huge stake of Netflix in global markets. So what are the reasons due to which you would like to stream Netflix in comparison to any other OTT platform?
I think for me, it's the services that they provide. So they provide different from other OTT platforms, which actually have different focuses. This particular one provides me with access to what I want to do during my leisure time, which will probably watching movies or series. And I can choose what I want to watch and at the time that I want to watch.
Good, good, good. So the service is the core of Netflix. They customize the things as per your wish. The next example in the supply chain industry, we have seen the example of OTT. Next example is the supply chain. So what exactly has happened in the supply chain? The Domino's has actually reaped the advantage by using the technology, and they have introduced a pizza tracker in which you can track your pizzas from the time you have ordered till it delivered to your gate. So Domino's is actually reaping the advantage out of digital transformation. Next example is a Lego, and there is a author named David Robertson who has written a book, Brick by Brick, on Lego, has actually told that a company once going to be bankrupt in 2004, on the verge of bankruptcy in 2004, how they have digitally transformed with the time. So what the Lego is doing, Lego is implementing a new ERP system with a change leadership. So when a new leader came, he introduced a new ERP system for the third parties. They have crowdsourced product design. So they have a lego.com on which you can click the picture of the prototype, upload it, vote it, and they will get the idea from there and then use it for their further production. Strong licensing is the another thing in which they are get into. So gaming, movies is the reason for digital transformation. So when I typed the Lego Africa, I got the Lego Zambia. So lego.com, the play zone is there. You can start playing the games over there. Even in case of Cambodia, I found the Lego prototypes. So Cambodian people, can you help me in identifying these prototypes? These prototypes belongs to which famous scripture of your country? Anyone from Cambodia? Aren't they Angkor temple? Angkor temples. Am I audible to everyone? Fatima? Yeah, Celio, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So the customization is the core thing which Lego is doing by using the digital technologies and tools, right? So these are the few companies who got benefited by using this technology. Now, let's have a quick exercise in the chat section. I am just pasting a link. What you are required to do is you are required to click on the link, write your name there. There are few questions you are required to attempt it. And then we'll quickly see that how digitalized is your department in which you are currently working. So a quick exercise, I'll just post the link here. Just a second.
हाँ यार इसमें तो
Yeah, here is the link. You can quickly click on the link, put your name there, and attempt the questions.
I can't find the link.
It's in chat.
Chat, okay.
Yeah, are you able to see it?
Yes.
Yeah, please click on the link, write your name, simple, and just attempt 10 questions with honesty.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get the link, ma'am.
It's in chat.
I didn't see it.
I'll repost it, no problem.
Yeah,
Are you
thank
able to
you.
see it now? Yeah. Camelia, are you able to attempt the questions?
Yes, I found the link. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, so. Is my screen is visible to everyone? So I got one reply from Sydney Wing. Yeah, Sydney, great. So I got 2 replies. I got the reply from Fatima. I got the reply from Sydney. Fatima, are you able to see your score?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
How
you.
much it is?
38/50.
Great, great, great. Sydney, can I hear from you?
Morning. Yes, 35/50.
Am I pronouncing your name correctly? It is Sydney?
Yes, it's Sydney Wing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. What about others? Very cautiously you are giving answers. It's a perceived quiz, which I have created exclusively for this workshop. Yeah, we have few more replies. Great. So we have Camelia, 37 out of 50. Fatima, 38 out of 50. It is refreshing again. Oh, George, 40 out of 50, the highest score. Great. Anwar, can I have an Anwar on board, please? Anwar, can you please switch on your camera? So currently the highest score is of Anwar, 41 out of 50. So others are also attempting it.
Sorry, can you send again the link?
I think I have shared it. Do you want me to send it again? Just a second. It is there in the chat. I'm resending it. Please let me know whether you got it or not. Did you get it now? Timothy, did you get it now?
No.
You are not able to see anything on chat?
I can see it.
There is a link. You have to click it, write your name in it, and just attempt the questions. So what range I have set for your departments to are digitalized or moderate on digitalization or low on digitalization is, yes, Timothy, you were saying something? Okay, so 35 to 50 is the score which fall under high digitalization in your department. So I'm able to see that most of you lie in that zone only. Anwar is got the highest, which is 41, and 20 to 35 is the moderate digitalization in your department, and less than 20 would be the low on digitalization. But what I am finding it here in a quick quiz is that the most of the departments in which you are working are high on digitalization. So congratulations. I am glad to see this. Timothy, are you able to do it now? There is an echo in your voice. I guess there is some network issue. Timothy, you can write in chat. There is some problem in the network. I am not able to hear you. Okay. So least time was taken by Sydney. Quickly he fill it, 35 out of 50. And that is high on digitalization. Great. So shall we wait for other participants to attempt it, or shall we move? Okay. Okay, so PPTs are visible now. Okay, so this is a small exercise to identify that how digitalized are your departments in which you are currently working. So Anwar is scoring high, 41 out of 50 on the digitalized department. So let me tell you on what basis I have created the quiz and on what basis you have attempted it. There are few components of the digital organization. There are 5 components of a digital organization, and the people are key of it. And when we talk about people, we talk about employees, we talk about consumers, we talk about the different stakeholders who are the inevitable part of your organization. So people are the most significant part of it. Then next part after people is data. And when it comes to data, it is following people, but equally important. And therein the role of digitization came into. You are making or converting the information about people in digital form. So here the role of data pitch in. From data, we get some insights. Insights are data is like a oil. It's up to you whether you want to use it, you want to refine it, or you want to clean it, right? If you refine it, then you will get a fuel for getting a more action-packed performance. So insights are those action-packed performances, right? So insight generation is the most important thing for becoming a more digital organization. Once you have the insight, that it is not necessary that every impactful insight has been converted into action. Because predictive analytics we know, but what we do with the predictive analytics, most of the us would not know. So by using those insights, how the actions could have been taken, and then we have the results out of it. So there are 4 important components of digital organization: people, data, insights, action, and results. And for this, we are working with the digital organization. And after attempting that quiz, I'm able to make out that most of you belongs to a digitalized department. So congratulations to everyone. So we have seen the example of the companies who are, including your organization, you are scoring high on digitalization scale. So including your organization, that how you are reaping the benefits. But there are few organizations who failed due to misapplication of it, right? So one very famous and common example is of Blockbuster, which I want to again share it with you, that Blockbuster is a failure in the market because it is unable to pivot quickly, right? It is unable to adapt the technology. It is not able to understand the streaming model, which actually taken place or took by the Netflix, right? So in the year 2010, when Netflix was flourishing, the 2010 Blockbuster got failed, right? So this is an example which actually apt for defining that how technology is failing by some companies, how technology is not working with some companies, right? So why digital transformation actually fails? Tamati, you want to say something? You are on unmute.
Yes, I have a question about the feature of the company. If I apply the 5 components, what's wrong with the components? There is a problem with one component, or yes?
Yeah. So you want to ask about this, the component of digital organization?
Yeah, yes, and the feature of the society, the company.
Yeah, so the component of digital organization means if an organization wants to be successful and they are digitally transformed, they should focus on these 5 components altogether. Only the hard part would not work. Only the infrastructure would not work until unless you focuses on the soft part of your organization who are responsible for adapting that change. Right, so here we are talking about the hard part and soft part. So data is important, technology is important, people are equally important because they are going to the one who are going to implement it by generating insights out of that data. What the machineries are doing, they are generating data for us, right? Artificial intelligence is helping us in interpreting us, but again, it's up to us that what we are required to predict and how, right? So 5 components in all together make an organization successful, and leader is the one who ensure that all 5 components are there, which will help in successful digital transformation. Camelia, am I making a point?
Okay.
Are you able to understand it?
Okay.
So we started with digitalization, digital transformation, how digital is your organization, but actually you have scored high on that questionnaire because you believe that your company is high on all these parameters. They are taking care of people, they are taking care of data, they are generating insights out of using that data, and at last sharing results for better improvement and feedback. So without these components, no company can be a digitally transformed company or can adapt technology. Any further question?
Okay, so the principal cause of the feature of the company, next example, in which component? Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it is the inadaptability with technology, with the change. They are not able to store the data. They are not able to understand their customer, what they require. So again, people, they're not able to understand, their leader not able to understand the requirement of consumer, which is people. So Blockbuster got failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's important to learn from failure.
No, definitely. You and absolutely you can ask more questions if you have. I would love.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So why digital transformation actually fails? So Camelia, I'm coming here in the slide that why digital transformation actually fail and what happened in the case of GE. We are running out of time, so probably I need to wrap. So GE is the case study which I have shared with you in advance. So how many of you are able to read it? It's a pre-read for the session. How many of you are able to read it?
I read it.
You read it? So Camilla, can you help me in just gist of the case, that what the case is about?
In general, about the challenges, the company GE faces many challenges to internal to the company and external to related to the environment.
Yes.
So many challenges to face, to relieve, and how to implement digital transformation. There is many challenges, many risks.
So what they are planning to launch? Yeah, what they are planning to launch in GE?
Sorry?
What they are planning to launch in GE on which they have invested so much? What was that? Do you remember? Can I help you in it? It's a predict. It's an industrial Internet of Thing based platform which GE wants to introduce. And in order to get it implemented, they have changed their organization structure. They didn't talk to their customers. They have not involved their stakeholders, and they simply launch it. So what happened is people were not involved. Data was not captured. Insights were not generated, right? So these were the components. Insights not has been generated, and action has not been taken on time, and results got negative. And that's why that transformation failed, right? So that was the objective of that pre-read material, to identify. So research show that digital transformation most of the time got failed than succeed in industry. And the probable reason is neglecting the human part of digital transformation. And leaders are the one who make it clear from the day one that technology is important, but with which we are required to get ourselves changed, modified, and better professional in order to adapt that technology. So probable reason, the word digital transformation really doesn't have to do with the digital part of the word, right? It is more about transformation. And when we call about transformation, we call business transformation, which involve people, leader, different stakeholders, right? So GE, why GE failed? The GE failed because of lack of communication in their organization. Their head, Immelt, the CEO, has not communicated well with the different stakeholder. The learning at different stages is totally missing in the case study, right? It was totally missing. None of them were discussing anything. Only 20% of the staff is GE even know that they are rolling out a new platform, which we call Predix, right? That make sure bring your customer along with, that is missing in GE. People are totally neglected. They have never taken any feedback from the consumers that what kind of platform they actually want. They're happy with the previous one, but they are launching the new one, right? Being humble is the most important human aspect. A machine cannot be humble. A machine is not computerized to be humble. Only the human beings can be humble, and that is the work of a leader, to be humble. And the relationship capital reaping should be a feature of a leader. He should know what kind of relationship is important in a company, right? So this is how the GE moved from 2001 to 2018. John Flannery, as per the case study, has only a 14-month tenure. Reason being, he is the reason for digital transformation failure. So again, the leader is in the picture and responsible for digital transformation failure, not able to identify the opportunities, threat, and challenges. And in nutshell, I would like to say that no matter how great the technology you are implementing to your organization, whether it is blockchain, whether it is edge computing, whether it is artificial intelligence or augmented reality, the most important thing is people should adapt it, and your processes should be designed in a manner. And here the role of leader get pitched in to ensure that with technology, people and processes are the part of system to make a really digitally transformed organization. So in the coming sessions, which would be taken by Dr. Nandita, he will discuss more about how leadership is actually changing the face of digital organization, what is digital organization, and what are the leadership skills which you are going to learn. So any questions to anyone? I would love to hear and reply to your queries. Camelia, Sydney, Timothy. Any question, anyone? So
not question, but a remark. You confirm that the most important pillar is the human resources. Donc it's so important to success in the digital transformation.
Yeah.
Yes, to invest in human resource.
Yes, the role of leadership is significant when it comes to the digital transformation and technologies. because the soft part of the organization play an equal role when it comes to digital transformation. So incomplete without the people and processes.
Because sometimes we have a perfect system, technical aspects is perfect, but it's not efficient because human resources, there is a lack in competence and skills or training, or there is a problem in the human resources.
I'm glad that you are able to catch that point, Camelia. I'm really glad. Dennis, you want to say something? Dennis? Okay. So yeah, this is about this session. I'm sure I'm able to justify with the objective of this session, which was to discover how an organization can become a digitally transformed by using the 5 components, without which it would not work. Any question? I would love to hear and reply to your queries. The next section would be taken by Dr. Nandita. She will focus more on digital transformation and leadership. Any question? Okay, then I wrap up this session with this video.
Once upon a
Is it audible to everyone?
Yes.
Once upon a time, business as usual was often good enough. No more. Where we are going, good enough is dead. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars or computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change, or are you being driven by it? Disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually, then suddenly, well, things really have stopped happening gradually. This change is exponential. Everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, ports, farms, even our bodies will be wired with sensors and will talk to each other. These game changers are also combinatorial. They amplify each other, creating a perfect storm of change. Quantum computing fuels big data. The Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence and deep learning, which fuels robotics. However, anything that cannot be digitized or automated will become extremely valuable. Human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotion, and ethics will be even more important in the future, because machines are very good at simulating, but not at being. Yes, robots and software will do some of our work, but this will allow us to focus on things that cannot be automated. To imagine change squared, you've got to start engaging more with what might be, not just with what is. Immerse yourself in the immediate future, 5 to 7 years out from today. We need to go beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom. Technology represents the how of change, but humans represent the why. The future is about holistic business model. The opportunity is to be liquid, to learn just in time, not just in case, not single improvements, but complete transformations, not individual systems, but new ecosystems. Humanity is where true and lasting value is created. We will engage, relate, and buy things because of the experiences they provide, because of their transformative power. The future doesn't just happen, the future gets happened. The new way to work is to embrace technology, but not to become it. The future is in technology, yet the bigger future lies in transcending it. Let's live and lead from here.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank you so much, everyone, for being the part of this session. Camelia, I hope you are, Timothy, Dennis, I hope you are able to get the core of this session. So looking forward for... Thank you.
Thank you
So much.
See you soon.
See you.
Dali podem passar daí da zona do
Thank you.
tua área, ali onde tem aquela gente que vende coroas.
Okay, thank you, Pallavi ma'am, for a very, very insightful and intriguing session. And I'm sure it was there was a lot of takeaways from this session for all our participants when it comes to what is digital, moving on to digitization and thereafter digital transformation. So the cases that you took, the videos that you showed, and of course the questionnaire that the participants did on, what is their score. So we're very happy to see that most of the participants had a score which was higher, which shows that yes, their departments are also digital. And of course, there's always a way to go. So thank you, Pallavi ma'am. And now we'll break for half an hour and then we join back at 2:15 IST, Indian Standard Time. And thereafter, there will be yet another resource person, Ms. Nandita Krishan, who will be taking this session forward through more industry insights. So you all can have a half an hour break, maybe a coffee break, and then we come back again within half an hour for yet another interesting session. Thank you. All right, so after a refreshing break, after a rejuvenating break, so we now have another resource person with us, Ms. Nandita Krishan. Who will be continuing from what Dr. Pallavi was talking about. So she'll be taking the session forward of why digitization, digital transformation. Ms. Nandita Krishan is an experienced HR professional with experience across industries and geographies. A subject matter expert in progressive HR policies and practices, she has a strong understanding of HR legislatures across several countries and regions, and key HR verticals like compliance, strategic planning, policy formulation, employee engagement, people management, and the employee lifecycle management. A diversity and inclusion expert, she conducts awareness sessions on bias, allyship, and other inclusion strategies for corporates. She facilitates sessions around managerial and leadership development, preparing leaders to lead high-performance teams. A certified NLP practitioner, she has a good understanding of people in different life stages. She strongly believes in the quote, "The grass is always green on the side where you water it." Therefore, she believes in continuous learning and growth for herself and those around her. We welcome you, ma'am. And it is so nice to have you here with us for this session, for this very interesting 2 weeks online session on why we are going digital and how we need different digital mindsets and behaviors to lead agile teams. So we are very happy to have you with us to take this session on why digital transformation. The first session was taken by Dr. Pallavi, and now I would request you to please take the session forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Geeta. And it is an absolute honor to be here and to speak to people from such diverse backgrounds and be connected with all of them. Thank you for the amazing introduction that you gave. Just to add on to it, in my current role with Marching Sheep, so I've been an HR professional for over a decade of experience. And so far, I have donned the hats of a facilitator, a recruiter, a generalist, an employee engagement specialist, and now to a DEI expert, right? In my current role, I manage a diverse portfolio, which lets me bring forth my innovative and passionate side with as an HR professional. The name of my organization that I work with is Marching Sheep, which is one of the top HR consulting firms across the globe, not just in India. And we work across 80 countries, right? So we do a lot of work around diversity, equity, and inclusion and leadership development in these countries specifically. Now, today I'm going to be your partner in crime for the next 90 minutes and talk and reflect upon the essential leadership skills, which are a must for a survival in the digital area, right? But before we get started, a quick check, Geeta, can I share my screen?
Sure, you can, yeah.
I don't think I have the rights. It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay, so somebody from the IT, are you there? Can you please
Yes, ma'am, it's enabled.
yeah, can you please give her the rights and make her the
Ma'am,
host?
you have a right now, you can share it.
Ah, I got it. Thank you. So while I say that I'm going to be your partner in crime for the next 90 minutes, I assure you I'm not going to do a death by PPT training. Okay, I want this to be more conversational. I want all of you to be as participative, to ask me questions and just make this more reflective and more engaging rather than just a one-sided monologue. Okay, let's talk about digital transformation, the past, the present, and the future of change, right? The COVID-19 pandemic has created serious disruptions to both public and private sectors throughout the world, right? I think every country, every economy was hit by this digital transformation that the COVID-19 pandemic created. It forced businesses to undergo digital transformation that most of them would probably have avoided for another few years if it wasn't for the pandemic. So while there was a bad side to the pandemic, which was, of course, the loss of life and all the, the emotional side attached to it, the positive side of the pandemic was that the world changed to digital. There was a new normal, which we all started talking about. For instance, in India, the ICICI Bank introduced a fully digital platform for its retail and commercial customers. Now, this platform that they introduced is a 24-hour service that provides 100%, absolute 100% of banking services online. Vis-a-vis earlier, pre-COVID, it was just 80% of banks' digital services which were available. Thanks to COVID, the remaining 20% also came online and were implemented to provide with banking essential services amid COVID. So while, yes, digital transformation makes it simple for businesses to align their operations with changing customer behavior, however, undergoing this shift within the organizations and the corporate world is not easy at the first place, partly because of lack of experience and partly because we are humans. We as humans are used to working with other humans and being around people. Which is why, even though the COVID lockdown and the remote work and work from home initially was a welcome break for everybody, but the longer it grew and became the accepted normal, where we talk about the hybrid work these days, people started feeling emotional burnout, stress, because they were working in isolation. There was nobody that they could talk to. Talking about transformations, it is not just the workings of the organization that have changed. And please feel free to add on to this. It is not just the working of the organizations that has changed, but also the people's needs evolved, which led to a major shift in the roles of the leaders. Now, because digital has transformed industries, competition, and business models, there is a new type of leadership in today's era, which we call the digital leadership, which is required to steer businesses through the digital economy's shift from analog to digital. So what is digital leadership? Would anybody want to answer that for me? And please feel free to put your answers in the chat, to unmute yourselves and speak. What, according to you, is digital leadership? Anybody, please. I would love to hear your thoughts on this too. All right, so let me give you a hint on this. I feel digital leadership is about empowering others to lead and creating self-organized teams that optimize the day-to-day operations with the help of technology. So it is no longer hierarchical. Digital leadership, I feel, needs participation, it needs involvement and contribution from everyone. Can I get some thumbs up if we all agree to this? That digital leadership is not hierarchical, but needs more participation, involvement, and contribution. Some nods, some thumbs up, some yes, some no's.
Yes, we need more autonomy in the era, digital era, but it's a little difficult in the bureaucratic administration. We face a challenge to be leadership and in the bureaucratic context. It's difficult.
Absolutely. And I think, Emma, please tell me if I'm pronouncing your name right, Camelia, right?
Yes.
Super. And where are you from, Camelia?
Tunisia.
Tunisia. Super. So absolutely, Camelia, I think, and not just bureaucratic, I think everywhere it was difficult. Like I said, not just public, but even private. Even for, I think it was, and it was difficult from a very holistic point of view because we were all humans.
Yes.
Right? And coming from a place where everywhere leadership is more hierarchical rather than a flat or a not, more distributed. Yes. Suddenly making it distributed became a lot of difficult for all of us.
Yes. There is a hierarchy, so it's difficult. Yes.
Absolutely. Also, I think technology has made the world a smaller place. While earlier, it was more limited to physical office spaces where you were working with certain set of people from your region only. Now, we are working across geographies.
Yes.
And I think somewhere that also is one of the main reasons why a hierarchy had to be disrupted in digital leadership. Because experiences, knowledge, everything has grown. The horizon has broadened, and how?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and when all of that has happened, I question sometimes that why is it important to differentiate between the leadership that was the traditional leadership, as I call it, and the digital leadership. Right? I think today, leaders need to deal with unprecedented changes. I mean, things are changing like this. The moment you buy technology, it's obsolete. The moment you use a platform, you realize, oh, there's another platform also. There are so many platforms to conduct meetings, to conduct trainings, to connect with people. So leaders need to deal with unprecedented changes and an unpredictable and challenging future. Because what we are now experiencing as leaders in this era is what I call the fourth industrial revolution. And this revolution is driven by the advent of new technologies, which is why in such a world, leadership will play a bigger role than ever. And leaders will have to create and show the way forward amid transitions, disruptions, chaos, ambiguity, known, unknown, whatever comes your way. You know, there was a research by McKinsey that showed that emerging digital ecosystems could account for more than $60 trillion of revenue by 2025. Now, when the digital ecosystems are accounting for that much of a business revenue, it is but understood but logical that the role of leaders in such organizations and era will be prominent, as they will have to steer, design, and build systems that create an inclusive future for everyone. And that is why we talk about some strategies to create leadership at all levels, not just be leaders our own self, but also create more leaders in our teams and in our departments, in our countries. But first, I want to ask all of you, so we'll dive into these strategies in some time, okay? But first, I want to ask all of you that what have been the positive and negative impact of digitization for you in your organizations, in your industries, in your countries? And for that, I would request all of you to please log on to this website. It is called, from your phones or tablets, it is called www.menti.com. There is a code that is flashing on your screen. The code is 85681612. Please put in this code and write down your answers that in your respective embassies, in your respective ministries, in your respective countries, what have been the positive and negative impact of digitization that you have all witnessed, experienced, seen, anything. Think about it for 2 minutes, and then please write down what have been the positive and negative impact of digitization in your respective areas of work. You will have to log on to www.menti.com and put in this code over there, 85681612. Super. I'm going to share the responses that we get. These are anonymous responses, but for a group reflection and peer-to-peer learning, I'm going to share these responses. So the first response that we have with the positive impact, we get updated information at real time and we are updated. Super. Negative impact, false info, make some situations worse, and it brings even some butterfly effects to us, especially in Myanmar for the time being. Wow. Absolutely. I think being misinformed was the biggest setback from technology that one of the biggest impacts that we saw of this digital transformation, of this digitization. Somebody has written efficiency allowed us to automate certain requests, internal and external clients. Brilliant. So your turnaround times increased, your way of managing work became better. Can we get some more responses? Okay, so positive effects, rapid and effective results, easy access to data and information, reduce manual resources, negative impact dependency on IT, computer, mobile resources, and software can be expensive. I so totally agree. While yes, everything became easy thanks to everything being available at all the time and not being dependent on any person sharing the information with you, it has had a negative impact on the overall health and well-being of people, apart from the expense which is attached to using certain digital platforms. While a lot of organizations did go and help their employees in purchasing these, making it a corporate cost, but most of the organizations did not do that. Okay, somebody has written the positive effects is that it facilitates people's life. Super. And the negative impact is that it does not cover people who do not have purchasing power. Brilliant. And that was the biggest divide that was created due to digitization. when everything went online, people worked from home, their children studied from home. I think that is what was the biggest divide that was very stark out there. The purchasing power divide. Positive, smart management, collaboration as the focus of productivity. Wow. Negative, reduction of manpower. Absolutely. Increasing the level of unemployment. Totally. A lot of organizations even reduced their manpower because a lot of roles became redundant. So a lot of people were no longer required to be in that role, right? Somebody else has also written positive. Selection of accurate data for digitization, qualified staff engagement. Very nice. Negative, lack of knowledge of processes to digitize. Wow. I'm loving this concept. I love the responses I'm getting. More efficient means of communication, ease of access to information, intelligent management, cost efficiency. All positives, all pros to digitization. Services were more speed, personalized with security and transparency. I agree, but I think security was also compromised for a lot of places. If you all remember, there was a lot of hue and cry in between when some data was stolen for some number of users on Facebook, and it created a lot of disruption. I think digitization, while yes, it has added more transparency to information and work, it has also created a sense of insecurity in terms of data being lost or data being available with everywhere. Which is why if you see of late, when you register on a lot of websites, they send a disclaimer that this information will not be used by or shared with other similar groups. Positive effects, reduce operational resources and fast access of data. Negative, increase in unemployment, totally. Positive aspects, cost reduction, easy access. Negative impact, limited social coexistence. Wow. And that is exactly what a lot of us felt, and which led to a lot of mental anxiety, mental stress, mental trauma, because working in isolation was something that nobody had ever thought they would do. And as human beings, we are not, I think, we're not used to it. We're just not programmed to work in isolation, right? Positive effects, access to public services and information, more effective and productive work, rapid and more realistic results. Absolutely. Access to data and its advantage, remote and online production. Negative, more costly, less analytical work and manpower. Absolutely. I think manpower, and with so many tools being available for analysis, the whole meaning of research and data, it took a very U-turn, I think, has taken a U-turn in the digital era. Positive impacts, we have many services from anywhere we are connecting. Super. Rapid access to many services and less paper, especially in public entities. Negative impact, we need to spend a lot of money to do it. So what we are saying is that while technology, and this is what I hear out loud, yes, that while technology made our life easier to some extent, it also came across as something which was very expensive to maintain or to be with. Positive, makes the business more competitive, allows the business to provide a better customer experience. Wow. Access to more information. Negative, cyber attacks, social discontent, living virtually. Brilliant. Anybody else? Are we having more responses? So what we see, what is the crux of everything that we have shared as positive and negative of digitization? I think what I see is that while Digitization worked for a lot of us in a lot of ways, but it is not free from negative effects, not just for the people using the technology, but even for organizations. And trust me, organizations across the world really went through a hard time adopting to digital transformation. Because overnight, everything had to be put on the net. Overnight, everything had to be put on the internal, for internal circulation availability, with so many employees spread across geographies. It was not an easy task for a lot of HR. And a lot of them did feel the burnout and brunt for it. And once done, the role of the same people became redundant, because they were no longer needed for sharing information or for updating information. Anybody could update information, right? So there were positive and negative impact of digitization on people, on processes, on businesses, on revenue, everywhere. We have one more response who says that positive impact was that we speed the process in the organization, help solving many problems in shortest possible time. Absolutely. Negative impact was the reduced workforce. Many organizations lay off people overnight. There were so many people who lost their jobs during COVID, during this whole 2.5 years of digital transformation. While for some, it was a positive, some it was a negative. There were so many families which got affected. So the impact of digitization was also felt, and the need to digitize has been very huge for organizations. Let me share 2 examples with all of you, okay? One example is of IKEA. Let's look at how digitization turned businesses and the revenue. I'm sure you would have all heard about IKEA, right? So just to give you a small gist of it, IKEA is a Swedish furniture retail giant with stores across the globe. Now they have some of the most amazing designs at an affordable price. They started their operations in 1943. But it took them almost 30 years before they expanded their business within Europe itself. Just imagine, 30 years to expand business only within Europe. It reported a revenue of $42 billion after 7 decades. Currently, IKEA has around 422 stores around the world. But owing to their traditional form of business, which means that they did not focus on the online or digital mode of business. And when COVID happened, IKEA was hit hard. Due to lockdown in various countries, their B2C model could not work because the customers could not reach their stores to purchase. Lockdown. The demand fell. People could not visit the store, and in April 2022, IKEA started shutting its stores across the globe. Also, for IKEA, most of the production of its furniture was centralized at one place, and that was China. The supply chain took a hit. Even if people were ordering online, they did start their online store in 2016. But even when people were ordering online, there were huge stock shortages for products online. And because China was shut and most of the APAC region was shut, their shipping was a problem. Their whole logistic and supply chain became an issue. On the other hand, let's talk about Alibaba. Have you all heard about Alibaba? Have you heard the name Alibaba.com? Alibaba is another Chinese e-commerce giant, which reached 1 million users in just 2 years of its inception. It accumulated more than 9 million online merchants and recorded an annual sales of $700 billion in 15 years, vis-a-vis IKEA, which recorded $42 million in 7 years. Simply by using and leveraging the digital technologies. Alibaba.com is today one of the world's leading online marketplaces. And since it was e-commerce based, since it was technology and digital based, when COVID struck, it had lesser impact on Alibaba. Also, another model of business that Alibaba followed was and took and learned from the mistake of IKEA was they did not centralize their production at one place. So when COVID, so even in COVID, when there were online orders and online purchases being made, it did not have too much of an impact on the supply chain because it had distributors not just from one place, but across the globe. So supply chain and production or distribution were more decentralized. Being an e-commerce company, technology was not new for them. So if you're all wondering right now why we are talking about these two companies, the case in point is that digital transformation has been a big boon for every industry. Of course, there have been negative sides in terms of data security, in terms of the cost and expense attached to it, in terms of data privacy. Yet it is being seen as one of the big boons to the entire economy in every country, in every region. So tell me something, and I want to ask this from all of you. Does digital transformation mean complete machines and technology and no manpower or labor? Does it mean that we totally remove labor, or we move roles as redundant and we lay off people? This is one of the biggest fears that has been doing rumors since a couple of years now. That if you digitize processes, if you automate processes, it will lead to job cuts. And we've all heard it at some point of time. But is it true? It is not true. I'll tell you why. Because you will always need people to manage the technology and keep abreast with the changes. Technology cannot run on its own. You need people to run technology. And as much as technology evolves, so do your people's skills need to evolve. So do your people's needs need to evolve. Their learning and growth appetite needs to evolve. No organization, big, small, retail, e-commerce, domestic, international, no organization can run without people. You need to have people in an organization to run it, which is why people management is an important function of all organizations, irrespective of industry or geography. It is an important function. It was not just the layoffs which hit people so much. What also hit people a lot was the way these layoffs were done. Those 2-minute Zoom calls, those 5-minute Zoom calls, we are so sorry, we don't need you in the organization anymore. It was the way they were communicated that had an equal impact on that whole thing. Which is why leaders in a digital economy, and I'm not just saying HR, I think every employee experiences an organization, not through the HR, not through the policies and processes, but from their managers and leaders. Because it is their managers and leaders whom they communicate with every day, whom they share experiences with every day, who build the employee experiences every day. So coming back, leaders in a digital economy need to be more mindful of their behaviors and actions. Because if your employee does not feel important, does not feel valued, does not feel taken care of, they will not be productive, which is what we saw in the quiet quitting and great resignation phase. People moved on because they felt they were better valued at another organization. They stopped working because they thought they were not heard anymore. It didn't make a difference whether they worked or not. So even though technology has made the world a smaller place, it has also made employees more aware of their needs. And it has also made organizations more aware of a diverse workforce. And where you have diversity, there is bound to be inclusion. Have you all studied Maslow's need hierarchy theory? You have? So let us look at Maslow's need hierarchy theory in the pre and post-COVID state. And let us try to make this into, translate into the corporate world. Okay. Now, what you see on your screen is Maslow's need hierarchy in pre and post-COVID era. The very basic, at the very bottom of this hierarchy are your physiological needs. Now, when we translate these from an employee's point of view, your physiological needs are those of salary and basic mental health. Before COVID, all employers took care of these, and the employees also took them for granted. So my employer just has to pay me salary, right? It is not as if they cannot pay me salary. And employers also made sure they always paid salary on time. But when COVID struck and people lost their jobs, businesses shut down, nobody knew what was going to happen. That fear of uncertainty took over people, whether they will survive this phase or not. These needs took the form, your physiological needs took the form of anxiety and stress over job security, uncertainty of the future. And that formed the very base of employee thoughts, of employee needs. Security of job. To know that my future is secure. To know that my family is taken care of. Right? The next level are the safety needs, which translate to the need for safer workplace and stable work environment. A work environment which does not have any uncertainties attached to it. So while pre-COVID, again, this was taken for granted by employees because they went to the same office, came back from the same office. The way of work had been defined for ages and decades. And which is why employers also didn't really think about doing anything different. And when COVID struck and post-COVID, this turned into an uncontrolled, unorganized and blurred work environment. Nobody knew how to deal with it. Uncontrolled because there was nobody to look into everybody's work. Unorganized because flexible working hours, thanks to the geographical time zones that we all are in, took over. And blurred work environment because the thin line between the personal and professional life started overlapping each other constantly. You know, earlier when we used to go from home to office and come back from office to home, the time that we used to get in between would essentially wipe out our experiences for that day. Which is why you could keep your personal and professional life aside. But now you're not going to office anymore. It's a hybrid work. So you simply log into your system, open your laptop, log into your system, and you're at office. Could you get the time to rejuvenate and rethink about your fight, let's say, just an example, with your partner at home or with your parents at home, or to the fact that your child is also studying from another room? You don't, right? So the work environment, the line between personal and professional life got blurred. The next level of needs are the need of belonging needs. Now, in the corporate world, these needs imply having cooperative colleagues and supportive bosses, which was very well managed, extremely well managed over the coffee and tea breaks. There was so much that could be discussed. Having lunch with peers, and also the feeling of camaraderie, which the seniors built in the environment, right? When we were working offline and in person. But in the new normal of remote work and working in isolation, the flow of communication is compromised. We are no longer meeting each other and there's a human-to-human connect. Employees no longer bond over impromptu in-person meetings. There are more Zoom meetings. Or discuss work over a cup of coffee. No, they don't. I am having my cup of coffee. You might have yours or not. And this is what led to burnout and a higher sense of exclusion in employees. Now let's talk about esteem needs. For employees, esteem needs in the corporate world are essentially recognition and feeling of accomplishment. Right? So while the bosses and colleagues used to appreciate and recognize in regular group meetings and town halls, I think this need was severely compromised post-COVID. Working remotely, managers and peers could no longer keep the feedback loop, which meant no longer keep sending emails and emails and emails. They could just not keep track of it. And therefore, the recognition, due credit for good work, which in a lot of cases is just a slap on the back and saying, good job done, buddy. That is what got compromised. And this, the esteem needs and the belonging needs clubbed together, is what took to quiet quitting. Because people no longer felt that they were important. It also led to the Great Resignation, because they felt it was another organization was offering them a more stable and a better esteem for themselves. At the very top of Maslow's need hierarchy theory are the self-actualization needs. Now, from an employee's point of view, self-actualization needs mean the need to lead and motivate, to become a manager, to become a leader, to be seen as somebody who everybody goes to ask questions, or who's always motivating people to perform better, to become a subject matter expert, or become an independent person, no longer needing to ask questions or take permissions or approvals from anybody. While before COVID, this was generally managed by our own selves, we were eventually moving into that role in a more conducive work environment. But owing to the turmoil, working in isolation, not having good environment to work in, no collaboration, so owing to limited infrastructure and communication channels, motivation for going the extra mile for employees got compromised. And this affected the pace of self-actualization needs. So this is how the employee needs and motivation have evolved and changed at the workplace post-COVID. Now tell me, we saw before this that the business has changed. We did a reflection on what have been the positive and the negative impact of digitization in our areas of work. We just spoke about how employee needs have changed in the pre and post COVID-19 state, which I'm going to refer as the pre and post digitization stage. Clubbing them all together, isn't it but obvious that you would need certain skills to deal with such changes as a leader, as a manager? So if the needs have evolved, if the business environment has evolved, if the positives and negatives of working in the same company have evolved, then the leaders also need to evolve their leadership skills to manage their people better, to have more productive teams, right? And that is why I am going to talk to you, all of you, about the skills that a digital leader must have. Now, I have broadly bucketized these into 9, but I think leadership as a role is very individualistic. So while you might refer to these as a broad thing, but you need to carve out and understand your own leadership style and what fits and what does not fit in it. So maybe for some of you, all of them might not fit and just 3 of them would fit in your role. That's okay, as long as you identify and are aware of it. So the very first skill that any leader, digital leader, must have is to be able to communicate personally. You know, the digital world has enabled us to stay connected with our teams 24/7. Now, everybody is available all the time, right? Every single person in your team is literally just a few clicks away. It has given us a plethora of tools to communicate with our workforce. There is text, there are emails, there are chats, there are video conferences, MS Teams, WhatsApps, just about everything that we can, where we can connect, right? But work communications tend to be impersonal. And it keeps your workforce from sharing the problems or confusions that they must be facing due to technological advancements. So sometimes what you need to do is just pick up the phone and ask, hi, how are you doing? How is everything at home? How are you finding work? Rather than picking up the phone or connecting on a meeting and saying, so let's get down to this. What happened about this proposal? You know, according to MIT survey, that's Massachusetts Institute of Technology, according to a MIT survey on best practices for remote team, communication was considered to be the most crucial factor for success. Communicating with your team on a personal level. And trust me, it takes only a minute or 2 to start your meeting with a hi, how was your weekend? What did you do? But the moment you do that, it makes your team members and employees feel connected with the organization. It takes care of their belonging need. It takes care of their safety need. And it encourages them to share their doubts about the present day working of the organization, or share their confusions, or share their issues, whatever they are going through. It does not happen overnight. I'm not saying that the first time you ask, they're going to answer. It is going to be a consistent effort. But trust me, it works. I have been doing that in my team meetings. Secondly, as a digital leader, don't forget to facilitate change. It is important, you know, that digital transformation, for us to understand that digital transformation is new to everyone in your organization, not just you, but even for your employees. Even for your organization as a whole, it is new. But it is certainly not difficult at all. Having said that, every organization has some tech-savvy generation, which will find it very easy to adapt to technology, to the change. But there will also be some people who will be like the non-digital natives, and they will find it extremely difficult to adjust themselves to it. As a leader, you must facilitate this change. You must understand that everybody is not at the same level. Somebody has higher knowledge, higher skills. Somebody has lesser knowledge, lesser skills. So make sure that no one is left behind. Conduct proper training. Regularly review work. Provide resources to better understand workflow. And these could be just some of the ways to make changes easier to adopt for your workforce. But it will make the people who have lesser knowledge and lesser skill feel that Yes, the organization, my leader, my manager is investing in my learning need. Thirdly, encourage digital literacy. As I said earlier, keeping up with new technologies is not easy, especially for people who are the non-digital natives. To make it easy for them, as a leader, you should encourage learning of skills required to live, learn, and work in the digital era. Let them upskill themselves. Let them take courses over the weekend. And there are so many courses available which do not involve any cost. You have LinkedIn Learning. And there are a lot of courses otherwise also available on Udemy, on Coursera, where you can learn and upskill yourself constantly. And it is not very costly to do that. Next, prioritize tasks. I'm sure all of you already are doing it, prioritizing your tasks, right? You all make your to-do list. But I'll tell you why it is more important and critical in the digital era. Now, the new age digital world has enabled us to do anything from anywhere. We no longer need to be in the office to complete a certain task. I can very well do it on my phone. I can very well do it at home also at a time that is convenient to me. As wonderful as it can be for us, it is not that great for the organization as a whole. The ability to do anything, anytime has made professionals feel with a certain higher degree of freedom. And with that freedom, individuals often forget to do important work on time, saying, oh, I can do this at home later on. But leaders driving digital transformation, leaders in the digital era, must make work priorities clear to individuals so that the organization's progress is not hindered. If you would have all noticed, a lot of emails these days have the signature, I'm sending you this email at a time that is convenient to me. You may respond to it at a time that is convenient for you. Or it is not important for you to respond to this immediately. Prioritize tasks. Fifthly, keep up with technology. I mean, in the digital era, there is really no escaping technology. So keep your workforce motivated to accept digital transformation. It is important for digital leaders to stay ahead of the learning curves as well. It is expected from the leaders to have a proper understanding of the technologies, because ultimately these technologies which your organization is using or going to implement or going to transform or automate is going to use to track the results of these initiatives that you're doing. So keep up with technology. You can't afford to not keep up with technology in the digital era. And trust me when I say this, I think this is the second time I'm saying this right now, that technology becomes obsolete the moment you purchase it. The moment you have a new gadget, it's obsolete because there's already a new technology that is there. So keep up with it. And it's a difficult pace, okay? Sixthly, manage ambiguity. See, we are living in uncertain times with no clarity of what will happen next. There was a time when everything was closed. Then there was a time when lockdown was removed, everything came back to work. Then again, there was another variant, everything closed. Then we came to a hybrid work. Now they are all saying return to work. We are living in uncertain times. If there is one thing that COVID has taught all of us, it is to understand that there is no certainty or consistency in the way of working. So successful digital transformation, making sure your teams are well versed with technology, requires you as leaders to develop the skills to make decisions with incomplete information, misinformation, which a lot of us wrote in our shares for the positive and negative impact. While a lot of information is available, there is still going to be some information which is not available. develop the skill to make decisions without that information. You should be able to foresee as leaders, as managers, and figure out the possible outcomes of a certain business decision and have a contingency plan in place, right? Now, the reason why I say a possible outcome is because, like I said, there is no consistency. There is no surety of this time being the same. So you can only predict that this may happen. And if this is going to happen, then maybe this is something that I would want to do in it, or this is what my team should do in it. So figure out the possible outcomes of a certain business decision and have plans in place. Next, allow errors. We are human beings and errors are bound to happen. Nobody is perfect, neither your team, nor you as managers, no leader, no organization, no business, no country is perfect. So allow errors, be empathetic. A great digital leader or a great leader always allows their employees to make errors. They should know that, they should create that environment where their employees don't hesitate to try new things, and they understand that it's okay to make mistake as long as the company doesn't suffer big consequences and I'm learning from it. And how you can do this, how you can create that environment where you let your team members be, where you let information and communication be free, where you let them feel safe and taken care of, is by fostering curiosity, empathy, and transparency. Be curious to find out. Ask questions. Let your employees know that you are concerned, that you want to know what is happening. And when they tell you, you need to listen with empathy. Listen with empathy and converse. Hold the conversation, tell them information, tell them about things with transparency. Let them know the business is not going through a good time. Let them know that region has shut down the office. It will definitely create a sense of insecurity among them, but as a leader, you must be able to calm them down and say that while this happened with them, it will not happen with us, because we are doing the right things in the right way. We are keeping ourselves updated with technology. We are collaborating. We are innovating. We are learning from our mistakes. We have contingency plans in place. Right? So creating that environment becomes extremely important as a leader. And while you're creating that environment, you're allowing errors and mistakes to happen. Be innovative yourself. As a leader, you will not be able to lead by example if you are unable to create, experiment, and use unconventional methods. So practice what you preach. You yourself are not perfect too. And you need to somewhere fire your own imagination. So be willing, be adaptable, be agile to try new management techniques that fit and work well in the new working environment. Okay. And lastly, and most importantly, provide support. That is the least that you can do as a leader. Be there for your team. Another survey was done by MIT, which suggested that 29% of the employees are likely to praise steps taken to foster mental wellness. Figuring out the ideas, figuring out the areas where employees are currently facing challenges and providing support for the same is critical to effective digital leadership. And how do you find that area? How do you find that blind spot? Again, through curiosity, empathy, and transparency. The lack of expertise and inability to keep up with technology can result in anxiety and fear of being left out in employees. As a leader, you should be able to recognize these fears and address them for your employees. Help them cope with these fears. If you connect the dots, everything of the 9 skills that I spoke about, that we just discussed, are interconnected to each other. If you do not communicate personally, you will never be able to provide support. If they do not keep up, if you do not help keep up with technology, you are not facilitating change and encouraging digital literacy. If you do not allow errors, if you do not let your team make mistakes, they are not being innovative. There is no thriving, growing culture. If they are not able to prioritize tasks, then you are not able to manage ambiguity. They are all connected dots. You cannot do one and not do another. An effective leader is one that delegates responsibility, encourages employees to innovate, and evolve during changing times. You need to be agile. You need to adapt to the changing environment. It is crucial for the leader themselves to create an environment where people of the organization are able to embrace the change and not feel scared of it. Look at any change as a challenge to grow, to learn something new, and develop an understanding of how it affects the business structure. Because unless and until you don't do that, you are not going to help any of your team members or yourself. Whether we like it or not, digital transformation is a reality of today's time. Every organization has undergone it, is still going through it, and will continue to go through it. But having a strong digital transformation strategy and effective leadership skills can make adapting to this change easy for a leader, for a manager, for employees, and for the organization as a whole. In a world driven by devices and technology, how you lead people with a human touch will make the critical difference. And leaders in this new age need to inspire, you need to engage, and lead with optimism. Because see, what you need to understand is that this ambiguity, uncertainty around technology will always remain. So you need to lead with optimism. Like I said earlier, technology has made the world a smaller place. It has played a big role in reducing racial, gender, and economic inequalities for a lot of people. It is no longer anybody's concern whether the person in their team who is working in another area, in another region, is disabled, is a part of any other community, or comes from a different race. Today, we are operating in a more collaborative work environment. But as leaders, by empowering others to pinpoint and solve critical problems, you have the power to shape the future of your world. And that is what every leader needs to do. All right. I'm now going to show you a photo, which I call the digital tree. You have everything digital on this tree. All modes of digitization. But I want to leave all of you with a quote from Steve Jobs, which is there on the screen. That innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. In digital era, if you're not innovating, you're not keeping up with technology. And if you're simply following what the other person is doing, you are not thriving, you're not growing, you're not learning. And the person who thrives, grows, learns, and creates that environment for everybody to do that in their teams is what a leader is. So to survive in this era driven by technology, one needs to keep innovating. Innovate, build your own leadership style. There is no right or wrong when we talk about leadership, but we need to be mindful of what is our leadership style. All right. And with that, we are now open for question and answers. If you all have any questions that you want me to take up for you, any queries, any doubts, anything that comes to your mind, please feel free to ask me, and we can have a conversation around that.
So participants session is open for question and answer. In case of any query, resource person with us, you can put your queries and get your answers. We are looking forward for your questions.
Thank you, Mrs. Nadita. Could you hear me?
Hi, please tell me. Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation for today. But unfortunately, I just received my the allowance from the host to join this session. I just maybe around about just only last 1 hour I can catch you. So
Okay.
I missed the first part of your presentation. So
Sure.
yeah, sorry about that. And I would like
No
to
worries.
get your presentation. Is this possible for the participants? Could you share?
I think I'll let the faculty answer this, please.
Hello.
For sure. You all the participants will get the details. Don't worry about it. We are going to share the details with them. And all the
Okay, thank you
PPTs.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope you found the session interactive and it added some aspect of learning to you.
Yeah, very informative and very interesting. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.
More questions, please. We are looking forward for your questions and we are trying to make it more engaging. So Nandita ma'am is looking for more questions from the participants. Anyone?
Even if it is about implementing any skills, you want to take it forward for your teams, or any situation as a leader that you feel you're stuck in, I would be very happy to help you find a solution for that.
So if I can ask a question
Yes, please,
about
Camilla.
the public administration. So we have very little room of maneuver because it's bureaucratic hierarchical structure. So how we can reconcile between leadership, autonomy to make the participants approach in our structure?
So how big is your team, Camelia?
We are, I think, less than 10, 8, 9.
Okay. So, you know,
it's sorry, it's a flexible structure based on the project. Sometimes 5, sometimes 10, sometimes it's flexible.
Right. So the resource allocation depends upon how big the project is. But
yes, exactly.
As I get it. Okay. So, you know, a very big misconception about leadership, I think, is that the more power you hold to yourself, the better a leader you are. There is a very simple model which I talk about in my leadership development programs for leaders to understand that they need to not just delegate work in projects, but also delegate authority with it. Because when you delegate authority is where you make the person accountable for what they are doing and feel more responsible and take complete ownership of it, right? So I call this model the TPAM. I'm sorry, I don't have the slide for it. It was not there on my content, but I'll be happy to share that detail. So it is called TPAM. It is, I'll put it in the chat. It is T for Tamil, TPAM. Okay. So T stands for the task to be assigned. What is it that you want to do? Understand the task. P is for the person whom you should assign it to. So when you should assign it to. So when you look at a task and say, this is the task I want to get done. Now, who is the best person? You're automatically diluting any hierarchy, any favoritism, any bias over there. Right? So P is person whom you should assign it to. A is the ask. What is it that the person needs to do in it? And when you're looking at the ask, only tell what is your goal or what is it that you want to achieve from this project or assignment or that work. And leave how that has to be achieved with the person doing it. And M stands for monitoring. When you monitor what I spoke about in my presentation, communicate openly, personally, transparently, is what comes into play. So don't micromanage. Don't say, oh, this is not how what should be done. This is not how it should be done. Instead, ask, do you need my help somewhere? As a leader, a lot of times, our words play a lot of difference and make a lot of difference in how we are perceived.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and also somewhere I think leadership or hierarchy or bureaucracy, bureaucracy and hierarchy are very traditional forms of leadership. That is how we always existed in our organizations when we were working in person. But like I said in the beginning also, Camelia, I think now a lot of people are changing, but it is a very conscious effort which needs to be made for this. So I think TPAM as a model has worked beautifully for a lot of my leadership development sessions and trainings on how leadership can truly delegate not just task, but authority, accountability, step back and reflect as a leader, and let the hierarchical part of it go. Because when you're monitoring from a support point of view, it really changes the whole mechanism of working. I hope it's helpful for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Try and implement it. If you get stuck anywhere, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, Nandita Krishan. I'm there by the same name. I'll be more than happy to take on any places where you get stuck and help you.
Thank you for this opportunity. After training, thank you.
You're most welcome.
Anyone else?
I think Pallavi ma'am, today is the first day, so all our participants are gearing up to come in a full form.
No, they are in a good form. I must say they are in a good form. They are
Yes.
asking questions.
I think the responses also with their shared, ma'am, were very nice on the activity that we did on mental health. I will share it otherwise with the faculty also.
Yes,
absolutely.
So I would like to thank you, Nandita ma'am, for taking this eye-opening session on the digital leadership. It has a very diverse content. It is started with the past, present, and future of change. What is digital leadership? How IKEA and Alibaba transform their businesses by using the digital technology. People management in digital era is really significant, and the skills which you have told us, the most significant for me was the okay to make mistake, which is the requirement of the leader who is operating in a digital era. So this session was really insightful, and thank you so much for taking out the time and able to manage with your already occupancies to take up this session. So thank you so much, ma'am, for being
Thank
the
you,
part of this
Pallavi.
training program.
Thank you for inviting me, and it was a pleasure, I think.
Our pleasure.
Everyone. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
So let me have a quick recap and a wrap-up session for our participants. So Shikha ma'am, shall I begin with the wrap-up session, or there is some other formalities required to be done before that?
Dr. Pallavi, we need to wrap up at 4. And since we are still left with 20 more minutes to go, I'll just appreciate and ask the cohort in case, since we have already started our session from the morning with inaugural session, and post that we already completed our 2 sessions on what is digital, why digital, and then probably talking about the disruption technologies that have shaped up the entire world, and a paradigm shift that has taken place. In that context, I really want to understand from the cohort that what are those key areas in your profession, in your organization, that you are looking forward, which could actually help you out from these sessions. Any such thing where you are facing any sort of challenges in your organization in terms of digitalization that has been coming up and would be, expanding more in coming years. We are right now here, so probably in the coming years, we will be flying somewhere at more technological aspects that we would be facing at our workplace. So in that case, what are those challenges that you struggle there in your organization? If we talk about essential leadership skills in digital era, or any other area where you really want to focus and try to understand from these sessions. Anyone who can help us out to understand better. Any challenges, any benefits that you are looking forward from for this session? Any key takeaways that you really think that, yes, these 2 sessions would help me out in so and so area where you have been struggling, or where it could be beneficial for us? Any of the participants who can, discuss, so that we would be able to understand better and take the sessions forward, keeping those things in our mind.
Hello.
Yeah, Fatima.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I think for me, it's been the effect of concentrating on people.
Okay.
Without people, the organization may not move forward. And furthermore, we may have all the digitalization we want and transform everything to digital, but if we don't focus on the human resources, on the people, then it seems like we have failed as a company. And I think for me, that was a very good wake-up call.
Right. So Fatima, since you yourself is an electronic engineer, and you have been, working in an organization, TMCL. So there, what is your role actually you are handling? You are handling a team out there?
Yes, I'm handling a team responsible for interconnect negotiations, interconnect between operating telecoms operators, as well as the roaming agreements in the company where I work, which is TMCell.
Okay. So what is the total number of team members that you have in your team?
10. It's not a big team.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, great. That's a great number. So yes, Fatima, and we do agree that human resource or focus on people is the foundation of any organization where we really want to achieve to certain height and grow successfully, where there is a win-win situation for both the organization and for the employees as well. Perfect. Well taken, Fatima. And our entire program is going to be focused on that, being a leader, how to take the things forward and how to have that particular aspect where we can find it out that, yeah, the success is not a sole responsibility of any organization or management, but yes, the people or the employees are equally contributing for their growth. Perfect, perfect. And anyone else who would really want to share their inputs? Because I'm really noting it down so that we are able to, pitch in wherever you all are having the set expectations and we could actually fulfill that.
Just I want to say that we can learn from lessons, from examples of success or failure of companies. It's very instructive and insightful to learn that the key message is to customize services. So more we personalization of service, more we can embrace the change and the digital transformation. So I think the key message is the customized services. Other point that mentioned is communication. Communication within the team is the most crucial factor of success, and can resolve many problems within the team. So we can invest more, and it's important to support the employees with appropriate training and tool sets to become a leader in the digital era. So that's the main lesson I can learn, that we invest in workforce to appropriate the training and the tool and equip the human resource. That's the main lesson I can draw.
Perfect, perfect. Wonderful, Cam. Therefore, wrapping up, in fact, in a sense that what all key insights and key takeaways that you are taking along from this day one session. And yes, as Fatima already focused, that people are the key asset for an organization. Similarly, communication and customized services are also the key ingredients of any essential leadership traits that we follow. Yeah, I can see Nui. Have I pronounced your name correctly? Please help me out.
Actually, the correct pronunciation is Noe.
Noe.
But I think it's a little bit difficult for you to pronounce. So the easier one is Ken. Ken is easy for you, right?
Yeah, that's okay. Ken. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Shiga, for your question. So you mentioned we can express what our expectation during this training. So it depends, and it may varies based on our situation and also where we live and what problem we are facing. So my expectation here is that I am the session in charge of one session. I have 10 members in my team, and also I'm responsible for international relation teams. So my expectation here is, during this time, a majority of my staff and even myself have been facing some pressure and some problem to do our daily work. So my precise intention here is, how can I motivate my junior and all of my staff during this tough time by motivating them how to value them by using digitalization and something like that. So do you clear my intention? Am I clear myself?
Yes, yes. So basically you are trying to understand the pressure points and how your team can come up with more zeal, more enthusiasm, filled with motivation. And I think it is the main task of the leader, that how you portray yourself as a role model and your entire team is driven by that motivation that really you want to see in your team. So that would be, again, a focused area in our upcoming sessions, where I would say at day 9, we would be talking about the agile leadership as a theme. And there we would try to understand that how to keep our, team members intact, to hold them, to fight for our, vision that we have set for ourselves, for our organization, and how we can take it forward towards the goal attainment in terms of a long-term or short-term goals that we are striving for altogether. Yes, so that would be taken care of. Perfect. Ken, I think you are handling also a team out there. So how many members are there in your team?
Altogether 11.
11. Okay. So large team you guys are handling, of course. Fatima also handling 10 people's team. Great, great. So over to you, Dr. Pallavi, and then I would be sharing in the meanwhile the feedback link in the chat box for you guys to please fill it up. Over to you, Dr. Pallavi, to wrap up.
Thank you so much, Shikha ma'am, and thank you so much, participants, for giving the valuable insights that what are your key takeaways from today's session. So today was the first day of this training program, and on the day 1, we have covered in the first session that what digital mean, what is digitization, and what exactly digital transformation is. Then with the help of some examples, we have seen that there are multiple companies who have taken the advantage of digital transformation and reaped benefits out of it, increase their productivity, revenue, their market share. But on the other hand, there are few companies who failed and become extinct and not able to cope up with the challenges posted by digital transformation. So the session was wrapped up with a thought that the technology is important, people, processes play a significant role, and where the organization failed to develop the digital transformation climate and an environment, here the role of leader come in the light. Then the second session was taken by Dr. Nandita, which was again an enlightening session. And in that session, she in detail covered the past, present, future of change, what is digital leadership, traits of a digital leader. The most exciting one, which I found, was allow to make mistake. So the followers can mistake, and it is leader's responsibility to correct it. Then the people management is the another skill which is required and very essential in the digital era to become a leader. So the 2 sessions make our day 1. I hope you are able to generate some useful insights. Those who have shared, I'm really glad that you are able to make out of today's session. Those who are not able to share due to certain reasons, I'm sure you are able to get some insights from today's session, and you'll share those insights in your feedback forms, which will shortly shared by AITD with all of you. Regarding tomorrow there will be the second day of the training program, and the program will be starting from 11 o'clock. The setting the tone is from 11 o'clock. Am I correct, Shikha ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Yes. And from 11:05, we have the first session, which is designed around creating a vision. And this session would be taken by Dr. Vibhor Kataria. Vibhor Kataria is an assistant professor in the FIIB and also a corporate trainer. After Mr. Vibhor Kataria, the second session would begin from 12:30. We are talking about IST, 12:30 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. And the session was based on creating long-term goals, 1. And there is a break of 30 minutes, and the same session will be continued by Dr. SP Garg, which we are calling here as the Creating Long-Term Goals, part 2. So one session would be taken by Vibhor Kataria, which is based on creating vision, and creating long-term goals 1 and 2 by Dr. SP Garg. So I hope you are all going to have a fruitful sessions ahead. Tomorrow is going to be a more fruitful day for you because you are moving from the basic concepts of digital and digitalization towards a more focused theme of developing vision. So all the very best and good luck to all the participants. Anything else, Shikha ma'am, from our side to be done? Yeah.
Great. So I'll request the participants. The feedback link has been shared on the chat box. You all can please have a look, and your feedback really matters to all of us in making our constant efforts for improving our session. And it has been also shared on your WhatsApp group. So need not to worry in case you are not able to fill it here. You please submit it today itself so that we have the feedback from all of our participants. I understand few of the participants joined late today, but tomorrow we are expecting our participants to join at least 5 minutes before so that all is set well before time and we can start our session tomorrow sharp from 11 a.m. onwards as per IST. So till then, see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Arvind, you may close the session at 4. Sure.